Welcome, folks, to episode 2 of the live stream for Scotslam. I'm joined by Gary Campbell and Ryan, who is the newest member. Well, Liam's obviously not joining us tonight, but Ryan and Liam are the newest members to the crew, the Scotslam crew. We've got a lot to go through the night, lads. We'll kick it off with FASTLANE. Matt Riddle versus Mustafa Ali for the US title. What was your kind of thoughts on the whole match as a whole?
It was a solid match, actually, especially for a kick-off match. It was solid. Both guys went for it. Well, Riddle won, probably. Most of us picked Riddle to win, to be honest, last week. And then, obviously, Retribution. That's probably him disbanding now. That's probably the biggest talking point.
It does. It seems like that's the way it's went. I mean, with yourself, Greg, did you see it coming?
I think so. I think and we spoke about in kind of previous podcasts and just in general that the kind of Retribution story wasn't really going anywhere. You're waiting for something kind of big to happen with it, but it just never really materialised. As Ryan was saying, their match itself was really good. Ali was brilliant. At moments I thought he was actually maybe going to pick the win up, but it was good to see kind of Riddle continue on and get that further push again to kind of have kind of new challenges. But I obviously seen at the end there with Mustafa Ali getting slammed into the ground, so that seems as if it's the end, as if almost Retribution on him, which again is kind of just defined the group for me. Never really worked, which was a shame because it could have been something big, but unfortunately never really came to it. But
aye, it was. He seemed to tweak his knee as well, I think, during his offense. I don't know if he's noticed that. So I don't know if that's going to be like an excuse on his part. If he's going to start saying, "Oh, I was injured, that's why I lost," blah blah. Even though he kind of turned on them, maybe because they've attacked him now, maybe he's going to turn around and kind of go, "Oh no, this is why," and try and bring them back in and regroup them maybe. But what did you think about? Kind of obviously the two of them just walking away at the start? You had Slapjack and Reckoning just walking away straight, not even giving them a chance, just walking away. That was it.
It was as if enough's enough, really, wasn't it? You just I think with Reckoning as well. I don't know. She's just I've not really ever seen her part in it much. I feel as if she's been left out for the beginning for the group anyway. It wasn't really. I didn't really understand her role, so it was like she kind of. I thought she went, well, this is the way I've been treated through the whole group, so it was like I'm just going to walk away. I don't really owe Mustafa Ali anything anyway. And then they all kind of followed suit, which was interesting. They all just kind of seem to go, well, we're all walking out you and it's not happening for you, so cheery bye, Ali.
Catchy.
some choke bomb as well, wasn't it? Just the way you just slammed him right into the ground. I was kind of glad to see it myself because he's been annoying me as of late, to be honest. But yeah, it's good that they finally acknowledged it. It's took me a while to do it, I think, but at least I've got to grips with it. But big Matt Riddle, bro, again with the win, and his scooter to hand as well.
You
can't
beat the scooter.
It looks great. It really does. I just want to go down the road like that and go, woo, yes. 20 years younger.
Where do you see it going for you then? Do you see any other potential contender? Do you see somebody else coming into the kind of limelight when it comes to the US title? Or do you think it's going to just be a repeat? Are we going to just see continually Ali going for that again?
I kind of want to see Keith Lee come back and charge him. I think that'd be a superb match. Especially both coming for NXT as well.
Aye. And they know each other so well, don't they? So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know what his status is. Is he recovered for COVID? I've not really heard much, but I would like to think he'll be back for Mania.
I hope so. I've not read much in it itself. Twitter's been quiet, so I've not really got much in it. But I'm kind of hoping like Mia Yim ditches the Reckoning role and just comes back herself, maybe with Keith Lee.
Aye. That would be a shout.
Could be a potential.
you've not got that now. You know, you used to have Zelina Vega and Andrade, didn't you? So that's kind of gone for the wrestling. You don't really have that kind of female manager role. I suppose they kind of were trying to go with that with the group, weren't they? But obviously they've not had somebody else to actually compete with. So like we've been saying, she had no part in it. It just seems to be it's got lost in transition. But their idea was for this whole storyline. But you never know. I don't know, but my personal feeling is Jeff Hardy's been kind of left out of the whole WrestleMania story as well. I know you've got Kevin Owens as well, of course. But
True.
big KO. I would like to see KO get into the match, but I mean, I wouldn't grumble if it was a triple threat match with KO, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Riddle. Of course, KO could turn heel quite quickly, quite easily. But Jeff Hardy obviously he's not going to turn heel at the minute. But I'd like to see. I would happily see a triple threat match with that. What about yourself, Greg? You get anybody in mind yourself, or anybody that has been involved?
I hope the Hurt Business don't split up, but I think if they obviously there was a wee bit of kind of tension between Benjamin and Alexander, so if that was the case, and I hope it doesn't happen, but then I'd like to see one of them go for the belt maybe. And I know they've had kind of gold and stuff before, but I think they worked really well. So I think if they kind of fall apart, then I think one of them I think would be really good to go for it. Kofi Kingston, I know he's had a lot of goals. I think the actual match between him and Matt Riddle would be superb, I think, as well. I think they're just kind of both quite similar, so I'd be quite happy with them. But it's good they've given Riddle that run. I think he deserves it. I thought that Ali might have actually won at Fastlane, but it's good that they've kind of kept Riddle going, and his character deserves it as well. He is so funny, but he's also proven that he can be a good champion, so hopefully it continues. But Shelton Benjamin and maybe Kofi Kingston or something, I think that'd be just two brilliant matches to watch, I think.
Aye, that will be. I mean, I don't know if you know. There was I seen a wee clip. It's not legit or anything. It was a clip on the TikTok, of course. Somebody has came up with some sort of weird rumor type thing that I think it's Malibu from the Gladiators. I think it is in America or something. He's supposed to he's Matt Riddle's real dad. That's what they're trying to say. And I'm kind of watched the clip and I'm just going, what's this guy talking about? And I watched it, and honestly, see if you see this clip, I'll need to fire it onto the page.
Definitely.
He sounds exactly like Matt Riddle. Everything the way he's talking was like, we catch some rays at the beach and all that, and it's just like I'm going, that's Matt Riddle. Let's get on.
No, it reminds me. What film is it? Is it Finding Nemo or something? The turtle or something? See, is it the turtle?
Oh,
Finding Nemo, the way he talks.
Ariel, dude.
140 years old, dude.
Honestly, but he's a joy to watch. He's an absolute joy to watch.
He is, buddy.
You just don't know what he's going to hit out with next and what he's going to do. But that segment backstage on Raw, when it was Shinsuke, he disappears halfway through.
Excellent. Just like head spin. It's just like, I'm done. There you go.
So what was he talking about? The way he walks down to the ring or something like that thing?
Aye. Oh, brilliant.
Honestly, brilliant. But that was that match, and we've obviously got a bit more rumours, possibilities for the title match. Nothing's obviously decided as of yet, I don't think so. We've still got a bit of time with that one. But on to the Women's Tag Team Championship match, we had Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending against Belair and Banks. Again, surprise. Who's involved again, of course?
Fucking Reginald.
Honestly, man.
Honestly, he's one going like a bad smell, and I hate him.
Yeah, obviously they lost the match again. They're still not picking up any momentum, being able to shine on as a team or separately, because obviously what is going on, and we finally see them kicking off at each other. So I'd be glad to finally see a bit of kind of heat when it comes to obviously their potential of their match at WrestleMania.
100%. I think it's been frustrating, right enough. I think I've kind of said in the last kind of podcast as well. I know other people kind of building it up, but I think Sasha Banks and Belair were kind of good enough to build it on their own. Like, I think there's been kind of, I don't know, they maybe thought about it too much for me. Like, don't get me wrong, Reginald's had these times where he's been funny, he's mostly annoying, but as if almost tried too hard or something to create something to get too much tension. So it's like you didn't need to try so hard. It could have came naturally. They're two gifted wrestlers who are both really, really good in the mic, so they could have built the story up, the match themselves. But the match itself was actually really good as well. I thought Banks and Belair really worked well together. You can definitely see how well the talent there and gifted wrestlers in their own right. And then it was quite good detention where it was at Belair, it had kind of banged into Banks or something, but it was kind of caused by Nia Jax. So then that I like that wee kind of bit of the match because it then built up the kind of tension, obviously led to them losing and stuff like that. So that was good. And then they kind of arguing. So it's good. It's definitely good. It's been needed. And you're more kind of when's it actually going to build a bit of tension rather than just kind of having the respect and the friendship for each other. But I think Reginald just must be going home in Nia Jax or something, man. Honestly, I don't know what it is.
He's discovered a whole new world.
A world that he might not be able to get back into.
He's lost up there for days.
Oh, poor Reggie.
Honestly, I would honestly I would sell my soul for another moment like that, man. That was spectacular. It's amazing how we can still joke about it now and it's still funny.
Okay.
Just honestly, I can't believe it actually was no scripted or, I don't know. It was weird just seeing the whole game, the way WWE played it. Like muting it one episode and then all of a sudden going, hang on, it's getting a bit of hype. It's getting a bit of internet attention. Let's unmute it for the next show. Like, why not just do that in the first place? It's not anything that bad.
It's been a bit random as well. Obviously, Reginald and Carmella's just totally disappeared, so that's kind of been a bit confusing. And then you're just kind of a bit unsure of where it's. Don't be wrong, you've seen Reginald in the ring a couple of times. He's pure athletic and all that. The way he pulls off his black flips and moonsaults. I just hope when it comes to WrestleMania, he doesn't get involved. I just don't want it. He can be there if he wants, away at the back rows of the stands or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And watch, but don't get involved in the match, please. Don't ruin what's going to be a brilliant match.
What would you do if this was all planned? We've been talking for weeks going, where are they going with this? It's just kind of like another aimless thing. We're thinking, like we've just talked about Retribution being a bit aimless, and it feels that way again with Reginald. But what would you react like if it turns out actually that was the plan all along and actually Carmella set him up to basically tear these teams apart to then kind of get herself involved in something? Maybe obviously not WrestleMania, but it could be obviously afterwards.
That's actually quite interesting. It's something I never actually thought of. To be honest, because Greg said, he just kind of disappeared. And it'd be kind of decent writing if it was.
Aye.
To be fair, it would be decent writing.
Might need something to back it up or something, but there is a chance. Do you know what I mean? So you never know. It could add some depth to this match. You never know. Or it could add some sort of depth to another match. I don't know how, but we'll see. But aye, that was quite a good match. I mean, it's been back and forth for a couple of weeks. We've had obviously Shayna Baszler accidentally volleying Jax in the face in one of the matches as well. I mean, so it's kind of been back and forth where you kind of thought, well, who is the team that's going to break up? Is Sasha Banks and Belair are actually going to be able to stick it out together, even though there's a wee bit of disagreements with the whole regional thing? But then you thought maybe for a second when Shayna Baszler kicked Jax, maybe there's potential for a bit of friction there. But nothing happened in the end of it.
No, but it's just the Carmella, what you're saying there, just touching on that again, will be very, very. That would be brilliant, right? Actually, it would be really, really good if something like that happened, because it would have, as Ryan was saying, like, none of us have really thought about it at all, really. So it would be really, really surprising, but also kind of brilliantly done if that did happen. But no, it'll be definitely interesting to see, and especially if Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler do end up splitting up as well. I mean, even that would be a good match. So there's endless opportunities, which is good.
Absolutely. We'll move on to another match, obviously. But the tail end of that one, we did have Banks, and as we say, Banks slapped Belair, leaving on the ring, obviously. So kind of the after effect of that was kind of, evident that it's obviously going to just start heating up now for there onwards. But I think it's set to be a good match. But moving on to bigger things, Big E versus Apollo Crews. Is Big E letting the aggression get to him? Is it going to cost him at WrestleMania? Is he going to just kind of battle through it? Or was it just a minor blip in that match at Fastlane? Do you see his aggression getting the best of him?
I think possibly. I think he's. I hope it doesn't, but he's kind of obviously still got that kind of positivity side to him and the humour and all that. But I don't know why. I think Apollo Crews has kind of got that under control for me, like with his new kind of character, and he's found himself. So he's actually got in Big E's head for me totally. So I think we're on Big E. You can maybe control it, but I think actually, I don't know. I can see Apollo Crews walking out the champion or beating Big E at WrestleMania. I think he's got him over. I really do. I think when it comes to it, it's just Big E thinks he's got it together, but for me, no really. And obviously, he got a revenge at Fastlane, but then obviously Apollo Crews had the last laugh again. So it's as if I'll let you have your wee moment, Big E, but I'm really in control of the whole situation. I've got it under control throughout the whole match, and it's building. So I wouldn't be surprised if Apollo Crews get the upper hand again.
Absolutely, be yourself, Ryan. What's your take on that, mate?
I can definitely see Apollo winning title at WrestleMania. I think it probably sets Big E up for a bigger push now. If it does, it's been talked about as well that Big E's meant to be getting this big push in the future.
Aye.
So hopefully come WrestleMania, it kind of starts, and then Apollo can take the title for there.
He could, because he needs something himself, like you say. He needs the traction more than Big E needs it, and if Big E's, like you say, using the US, not the US title, sorry, the Intercontinental Championship as a stepping stone to get to bigger things, then it's definitely the right way to go about it. I wonder who you go for first. That's the big question here. Do you know what I mean? That'd be fair enough. We need to wait to see what the landscape's like after WrestleMania, but it would be certainly interesting to see, and it'd be interesting to see if he stays the kind of babyface he's kind of going for, but it's kind of babyface bad guy or badass more or less that he's going for now. But could he turn heel to become the next champion, Raw, SmackDown?
I definitely think he could. I think so because he's kind of had, as you say, like the babyface way, like the New Day and stuff for so long. Then it would be interesting to see that kind of different change of character him, and aside that now that he is in single competition to get to that top level, Ryan was saying like to get the push. I think that's maybe the route he would go down. I think to kind of get there, but obviously, hopefully, still have a wee bit of comical side, like rolling down to the ring and all that. But you would miss all that side to him. Right enough. It's just absolutely brilliant. Every time you watch it, it's great. But no, I hope he deserves the push. I mean, he's been brilliant in the New Day, and he's just a brilliant pound for pound wrestler, and he would match him on his day. So it would be good to see him at the top level.
Some matches where it was back and forth with the pins, wasn't it? It was kind of a bit confusing at one point. You were kind of going to go, how's this going to finish? Obviously, in the end, Apollo Crews stand over him after his variation of the Olympic Slam, and just leaving him flattened again in the ring. Obviously, the way you like to think wrestling wise, but also WWE are very good at kind of trumping you when it comes to the norm. As such, usually the person that gets the last hit tends to usually be the winner of the big one. But we've still got time, obviously, before this. The actual match at WrestleMania. But could you see, like you say, that being the case this time, or do you think WWE are kind of going to play a bluff with it? The usual fan prediction where you go, right, he get the last hit, so there's a good chance he's going to win it. Do you think it's the usual with that, or do you think they're just kind of going to try and change it these days?
I can see Crews winning it. I can see him taking the title.
Just dominant all the way through.
It'll be probably a better match at Mania as well. In the Fastlane was good, but I think it'll be a better match at Mania. But I can definitely see Crews winning. He's leading the title.
No.
So I definitely see him winning it.
No, I can't. The way you guys are predicting it, I wouldn't have said it's not my personal thought beforehand. I kind of just thought Big E's on the run, but like you say, you have also spoke about he's going to get a big push. But I'm not quite there yet. But now that he's kind of put that thought into my head, I kind of think that way. But I'm still kind of 50%, 50-50 at the minute on that one. But I can totally agree with you. When we just are talking also about the fact that he just seems so dominant and he needs a title. When it comes to that, it makes sense for him to lose the title, absolutely. But it's going to be one hell of a feud. I wonder if it's going to be one of these ones we're going to remember for a long time.
I think so, because the promos recently have been absolutely outstanding. I think it was the one just before FASTLANE we were kind of interviewing, and Big E was in the car and they met backstage. It was just a brawl. That was just brilliant because we're both great on the mic there, and then it just ended up the way you wanted it. The two of them just going at it, which was great. So I think that will continue, especially at WrestleMania. Anyway, we'll just keep going like that.
Any ideas what you think maybe the match stipulations will be? If there'll be some sort of no disqualification, or do you think it's just going to be a I don't know, a false count anywhere? What do you see it being?
I would like a last man standing or something. I don't know. I think just it's kind of built up to that level where it's just go out there, leave all it, and I think the kind of characters built up for like Apollo Crews to have that kind of match. Maybe it could come at Mania. I definitely think if Apollo Crews doesn't win the title at Mania, he will get one soon. But as we were saying, I'll be very shocked if he did. But I would like a last man standing or something where it would just be like just a war between the two of them.
I'm the same similar lines. Maybe like last man standing, false count anywhere. Just something where they can just brawl.
I can imagine Big E bringing in some sort of comedic weapon or something.
Fucking pancakes or something.
Oh, definitely. Brings in a big couch.
It'll be good. It'll be a good match. I think it was certainly one of the stronger matches of the night. There's a few weaker matches, so to speak, I feel. But we'll not mention some of them because we know what ones they are. But we'll hope that they build to something at WrestleMania, and hopefully after WrestleMania we're talking about it for some sort of reason. As long as Shane McMahon doesn't steal the jump off the ship off of Kevin Owens, otherwise I'll stab him.
He'll be gutted with that. Honestly, that better not happen.
I'm raging. He's not got a match. I'm raging that he's not had anything. But I suppose sometimes you just got to kind of bite the bullet, haven't you? But it's just I feel they've dropped the ball on him.
Oh, easily. Easily.
But US title's still there. Like I said, there's a potential for him to throw his hat in the ring. Who knows? So next match, I think another strong match. We'll probably all agree on this one. Drew versus Sheamus. No holds barred. What was your take on that, Ryan? What were you kind of thinking of that one?
That was probably the best match of the night for me. It was fucking physical. It was a war. The Thunderdome screen spot was great. Fucking fighting out the barricades for so long was great. That was a fantastic match. Good to see Drew win as well. Obviously, it sets him up for Mania.
Right.
But it kind of put Sheamus in a good light as well. I think he done his roll well in the fight, so that was best match of the night for me, easily.
What about yourself, Craig?
I'm sitting along the lines as Ryan. It was the best match of the night for me again. This thing has been built up brilliantly as well. Obviously, with a couple of fights they had out in Raw. But just an absolute war. As I said, like the last one, like a Scottish and an Irish warrior, just the two of them you want to see fights, but also very talented as well. I mean, there was a couple of moves in there. It was just like suplexes and everything else, and as Ryan was saying, like through the barricades and round the Thunderdome, and they used it really, really well. So it was like a brawl, but you can see how gifted the two of them were. And Sheamus was absolutely brilliant. He really, really could have been. Obviously, we're all Drew fans, but you wouldn't be too this happened if Sheamus had won, because he put that much into the match as well, and probably was very, very unlucky not to win, but it was great to see Drew kind of come out on top. But aye, it was just absolutely brilliant. Just had everything for me. Really, just kept you on the edge of your seat. You weren't kind of looking away or bored or wanting this match to kind of go. It was just you kind of kept watching it for another hour. Do you know what I mean? I would have been quite happy to see that match over again for the rest of the pay-per-view. It was that good. So fantastic, and it just builds Drew up perfectly for Mania. When hopefully he's going to smash Lashley. I know.
That's what it was. It was. I thought exactly same as you lads. I thought it was fantastic. Like, was it white noise over the barricade? I think Sheamus hit him with, and then going through the Thunderdome screen, which I genuinely didn't think they were going to do, considering how expensive it probably is. But it's WWE, so they can afford to do it. But I just thought maybe they would to WrestleMania to do something like that. But that's one way to take your screens down.
Oh, definitely. Aye. Prepare for fans coming back.
Exactly. Two fans are going to stand here. Right here. But it was really good. You can see that their friendship obviously we know outside the ring and how long they've known each other, but the fact that you can see with some matches you watch the risk some of the wrestlers taking each other. I'm not saying they don't know each other, because they've probably wrestled each other before and so on and so forth, but these two probably know each other like the back of their hands, and you can just tell with at any point during the match you didn't feel that it was going to be, if you're thinking the safety wise, you don't think that there was going to be an unsafe kind of move, because you just know how well they kind of trust each other when it comes to those moves. And fair enough, they still took a bit of a beating. You can tell with the marks of them every single match they've had. But it was some match, and then it was continued on to Raw with Sheamus going on to face Lashley, and he put up some fight. And I think, like you say, like you both said, it kept him in that good light, where he was still seen as potential babyface, or putting himself forward that way. But it was I thought that was a good match in itself. Obviously, you had Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander getting involved in that, letting Lashley down, as he says, which was very interesting to see him go to the 24/7 locker room to find somebody.
I was surprised at that, because obviously Lashley had a go at Cedric and Shelton Benjamin for getting involved in his business, but then Lashley's away asking other superstars, you need to take McIntyre out before this, so it was kind of like, you're not so tough now, are you, Lashley? Do you know what I mean? But I know it was brilliant, and I think, credit, as you say, credit to Sheamus as well, because I think Sheamus has done really well in building Lashley McIntyre up for WrestleMania. I think he's really, really helped to kind of build intensity, because it's just going to be a war between Lashley and McIntyre as well. So Sheamus has played his role in that brilliantly to kind of build that up, and he deserves to be in the kind of main event stuff, week and stuff as well. He deserves to be up the top. So it's good that he's been in that light and he's building other wrestlers and getting the best out of them.
Absolutely. I mean, it could potentially go to a triple threat. I mean, I don't know what you I could see that one. Maybe not. Maybe it's not going to happen, right? But you would take it if it did happen. Do you know what I mean? Because of how good it was. But it was fantastic. I think Sheamus he's not done yet. He's definitely not done yet. He's still got a good while, and I think he's definitely got a championship or two left to take, I think.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Another big talking point. We all know it. I think you posted it on Twitter, Greg. You were one of the first, probably, to a lot of fans speaking about who was the real winner of the match against Randy Orton.
Fucking know who I want to beat.
I was going to say, that's your dream come true, man. If I was Randy Orton, I would just lay there all night, man. Like, Alexa, don't leave. I know the show's finished, but just stay.
Just wait.
But as we spoke about before, it was great. We knew the Fiend was coming back, didn't we? We kind of had spoken about that, and we thought this is going to be the moment. But the way they done it, I thought was really good. I think it was great as well. Like, coming as if he's from underneath, back for hell, really, basically. And what did you think about his look? What his?
I'll let Ryan take over. He's the number one fan here.
I fucking love him. I'd seen tweets and that saying, he looks like Jason Voorhees, and I'm like, he's clearly a fucking very like low budget Swamp Thing kind of look. But I think so. He's you mask is creepy as hell. His costume's amazing. Like the gooey, drippy look if he'd been burned. Oh, I love him. Just his quality. Aye.
It's like a mix of everything, every kind of horror kind of character in ways. Like, he's a bit like, you know, Michael Myers to that degree as well. It's like just about he's kind of standing there, no talking, especially in Raw. When obviously Randy Orton started pouring the petroleum all over him, just kind of he's just kind of standing motionless, like going, don't care.
Been this, been here, done it.
The match itself was fair enough. It was a bit slow to go, but obviously that's due to the fact that it was male versus female, and you know what WWE are like when it comes to that. But it was very well done anyway. And then going on to obviously Raw, when they met in Raw and they summoned them. I think again you stated it on Twitter. The point to the WrestleMania sign was pretty epic.
It was brilliant. She really just having about it. It was just obviously it's not much just pointing, but it was just her stance and obviously the way she's been, her character totally in it, and it was just absolutely brilliant. I think I posted a wee appreciation tweet to her, I know, because she's just built the story up brilliantly. You couldn't ask really for anybody else to kind of play the storyline, and for me it's just been brilliant. But as you say, the match itself was really good. I liked the kind of some of the effects. I see when the light fell in between them, man, I jumped at my skin at that point. I know. It's like
the fuck?
You know?
Check behind your couch when is she here?
Aye, I'm like freaked out, man. I'm not sleeping tonight. But no, it was good. It was great ending, as you say. Aye, and it's just built it up brilliantly for WrestleMania now, and it's going to be great.
It was absolutely. What do you see it being? Do you see it being a Firefly Funhouse kind of match, or is it going to be something again cinematic based? Do any of you pick up any kind of hints to what it might be?
I'm hoping for just a standard match, and I don't want to make it like fucking a 5-minute fucking squash match where Fiend comes in, wins. I hope they give him a good 15, 20 minutes. Like it's been like built up that much that it kind of deserves a longer match.
Aye.
So hopefully just a normal 1v1, hopefully.
It would be good. Don't get me wrong, we've obviously enjoyed the cinematics, but I agree with yourself. It's because of the build up. You've not seen a great deal of them. It would be pretty crappy from just to come in and the whitewash kind of just beats Randy Orton like nobody's business. But again, we don't know how the match will go. Because obviously Randy Orton's been the one at the receiving end of it most of the time. Fair enough, it's still, Bray Wyatt's supposed to be the one coming back for revenge because he was the one that was burnt, wasn't he? So, but it'll be good. It'll be good to see how that goes. How they use the effects that they can use with fans being there. Again, albeit they're not doing a cinematic, but I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. But a lot of people talk about the way he's worked on his character, and he's worked the character fantastically, just equally as the way Alexa Bliss has. But both wrestlers, this is what I don't agree with. Some people have said they don't feel that he can work in the ring as well as he's worked on his character. I disagree with that person. I don't know about you guys yourself. I don't know what planet they're on. Just because maybe last WrestleMania with the John Cena thing, because it was so quick and so on and so forth. How they've managed to gather the evidence to say this guy's no good at wrestling. He's just good at building up the character. That's what gets him through it. I don't agree with it, but that's what certain people's opinions are, and I think that's all that bill, in my opinion, because he's very much capable.
Aye, his in-ring ability's incredible. I mean, you see him, like, obviously he's so good at the character, but I also think that brings out his good side in the wrestling as well, because he's playing this part where it's like he's not indestructible, but he's dead strong and he'll laugh. But it's actually very talented. I think a lot of people miss the actual wrestling of what he's actually doing. It can be simple things like just bouncing off you or throwing somebody into a rope or other moves, but that's good pro wrestling for me. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of basic things, but it's done so well. But people, as you say, kind of misread it for the character. They're more focused on the character, but what he's actually doing in the ring is very talented, and he's he'll probably not take credit for it, but it's there. Do you know what I mean? As if he's no meaning it, but it's there. Aye. I don't know what, as you say, I don't know what people are kind of thinking. That Sister Abigail, man, is just one of the best moves. I think it's incredible.
It's took him obviously a while to get his gimmick, of course. We've seen him being Husky Harris in NXT, the Nexus, sorry. It was Ian Punk's lot, wasn't it? So he obviously didn't pass off like a lot of the wrestlers. I think there was a couple in particular that just completely disappeared from the company full stop after that. But he finally also found his way, and he's definitely found his way with the Fiend now for sure. It's just how long he's been in the company now as the Fiend, and it doesn't feel like he's really been there that long as the Fiend. But it's just how enjoyable it's been. It feels like he's almost been there for nothing. We know he's not been there as long as Undertaker, but it feels like that because Undertaker's not here. Not saying he's replacing Taker by any means, but in his own right, he's creating this kind of godly figure, the way that the Undertaker was seen. It could be this era's version of that very easily. And I can't wait to see what other kind of stuff he can come up with. I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Aye, but it's endless. As you were saying, it's like endless opportunities for him. You can actually just come up with a wee idea and then it could take off from there. As you say, it's never a character that it's going to go stale or it's going to go stop. With a lot of people, he's so creative, it's unbelievable. So it's like, aye, it can keep going and going and going. And as you say, I think in this era, that's probably one of the best characters we'll see for a long time.
Here's another interesting one for you, right? Somebody, I've not seen him, don't know about you guys, I don't really pay attention to him. We all know Bo Dallas is his brother, right? But I've not seen him recently. Again, another TikTok, right? Another theorist, right?
Fuck.
Somebody tried to say, right, no way in hell that this was Bo Dallas in the ring. This was Bray Wyatt 100% in the ring at Fastlane, 100% him and Raw as well. But he is quite a big guy, right? So the theory kind of like, it wasn't that itself with the fact that they were trying to say that was him and Raw. It was more to do with the fact that what they could essentially do if Bo Dallas has got a bit of beef about him where it can almost pass off as a second Fiend, like what they what they could do with that, really, what they could kind of, since you've not got the cinematic camera tricks that you can play to the crowd as well, you could play with a second Fiend, but it's just Bo Dallas from a distance. You wouldn't be able to tell that the size difference overly, other than the fact that maybe his belly isn't quite as big as him right enough. But you could potentially use him that way. Like the Fiend appears in the crowd and Randy Orton looks at him, it's like freaked out. Next thing you know, the Fiend's in the ring. They could do something crazy like that. I would like that theory. I think it's quite interesting, but I always thought maybe there was a potential to Bo Dallas to be brought in as like a new family member as such, but I think they've been there and done that with the family members, so there's only so many times they're going to be able to do it in there. I don't know if he's still contracted, is he? I don't know if you guys know, but as far as I don't really know. As I said, I don't really follow.
Not sure.
I think he still is, but I'm not 100% on it as well. But I think he still is.
Because he's gone as well.
Yeah. What you're saying with the theories, it would be interesting for something. As you say, definitely wasn't him in the ring at Fastlane, but if they tried to work that in a way, it would be quite interesting. Maybe know what people were kind of expecting, so it would be interesting to see. But
because it wouldn't be the typical he's actually hiding under the ring kind of trick. It's like, how the hell did they get it up in the stands to in the ring? Do you know what I mean? They could do something like that. I know it's potentially far fetched, but it's a shout, to be fair to whoever did it. It's a theory that's came from a theory. You know what I mean?
It's definitely a shout. It's definitely doable as well. So
exactly. I don't know what they're going to pull out with it, but I like you say, I think it would be good if it's a straight down match, straight down the line, just a brawl, an absolute brawl to the death. But it's going to be interesting. We've still got another Raw to go, so there's more potential build up, more potential finding out what this match is going to be. Hopefully we're right, and hopefully it's going to be, like you say, 1v1 in the ring, no cinematic bullshit. But last match of the night, I think we've all agreed the kind of out of all the ones we've seen that night, even though it's quite a short pay per view, the Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan match, that was bloody chaotic. What did you think was going to be? We discussed it beforehand. We discussed the referee getting taken out. It happened, of course, and maybe my theory about Edge kind of picking and choosing who he wants to tap faster for didn't quite happen. But what did you make of that one?
Aye, it was a brilliant match. I thought it was great. Daniel Bryan, just again, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world for me. Just kind of basic pro wrestling, gave absolutely everything. Roman Reigns, obviously there was stages of the fight where Roman Reigns looked as if he was just going to absolutely maul him the way he kind of has done. But Daniel Bryan just got this never say die attitude, and he always just seems to find a way and sticks in there. And I think it was a key moment. He correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Roman Reigns went for a spear, but he turned it into the yes lock or something, like he reversed it. That was just absolutely incredible. That was and stand it. It was just to find Daniel Bryan's a wrestler. And then, as you say, it was absolutely chaotic. I mean, you didn't know what was going on, didn't know what was happening. The referees took it. Like, this is just crazy, trying to keep up. And then, obviously, Edge with the steel chair and all that. And then Jey Uso appears. You're like, oh my God, man, I can't keep up. But no, it was a great match. Daniel Bryan was very unlucky. We kind of spoke about it before. We knew Roman Reigns was going to win. You wanted to see Daniel Bryan pull it off, but you knew he was going to kind of come out on top at the end. But no, it was a fantastic match. It was right up there as well. One of the best of the night.
Yeah, obviously, I'm pretty sure they all have him tapped out as well during the match as well, but obviously nobody could see it.
Aye, that's right. Aye.
So do we think that leaves him in by a shout for Mania? Another talk about being a triple threat anyway.
Aye, I think it does, and I think it kind of saves Roman for getting pinned as well. Maybe make Edge pin Bryan, so Roman's kept kind of safe at Mania. So I can definitely see it happening. Definitely.
Paul Heyman coming out with the usual excuse on Monday Night Raw. You didn't pin him. Let him get his rematch.
Yep, exactly.
Because I think that's a big thing for Roman Reigns, obviously. Being head of the table and tribal chief, it's more about being in control. So obviously him tapping out's kind of seen as a bit embarrassing for him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm the top dog, that's never going to happen to me. So as we're talking about the fact that could have happened, then it does, as Ryan was saying, leaves opportunity for Daniel Bryan, because if Roman Reigns looks at that back and go, well, I kind of did tap out, so it can't be that way. He needs to get the last laugh. So I wouldn't complain. If it ended up being a triple threat, then that would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I think it'd be a quality match. If it did turn into a triple, I think it'd be an outstanding match.
That would be. I think we've all spoken about it before, how we were really mentioning just Edge and Daniel Bryan, but we're obviously kind of forgetting that Roman Reigns obviously was out with the whole cancer, kind of like obviously recovering from that and being cleared of it obviously. But it's amazing to think 3 men at WrestleMania, the trials and tribulations of their careers being on the line, different health conditions, but the fact they're all wrestling and potentially going to be all wrestling in the same events, phenomenal.
True, aye. It is.
Yeah, definitely. Adds that bit Aye, it's like kind of personal, isn't it? And as you say, it's kind of that, we've all had our own battles, and it's a moment that they could all share together, really, in their own way. Do you know what I mean? Just the biggest stage of them all in the years where they all want to be. So that would actually be really good in that sense. And for just an actual pro wrestling match itself, the 3 of the best just going at it would be incredible. I think it would just be technically amazing, really.
Now let's call it now, right? So, who's winning it?
Oh, Edge.
As we stand now, you can change. We'll always have another prediction, of course, but we'll try and call it now, and we'll maybe see what the results are. Who are you calling?
Live crowd. It has to be Edge. Aye.
I would like it to be Edge, but I don't know. I can see Roman Reigns still coming out on top. I don't know. Obviously, there's been a lot of speculation of him ending the battle with The Rock at some stage, but then there's a lot of rumours now that next WrestleMania could be him and Drew McIntyre, because obviously they had a champions versus champions match. So, I think Roman Reigns might come out on top. I do. Aye.
Oh.
Leaves me with.
Go with pick Daniel Bryan.
Bad Bunny comes in and beats them all.
was going to mention him there. Come on.
Aye, Reginald? Reginald?
Yeah. That match in itself, Reginald versus Bad Bunny. Why not just do that instead?
Aye, exactly.
Aye, I'd be fucking got to toilet during that match. Fuck that.
Get the snacks in, refilled.
Aye.
Aye.
Fill the fridge.
I think there's that interest with Daniel Bryan. I couldn't count him out to say that he's definitely not going to win it, because they're obviously the whole mistake thing we've spoke about in the last live, which I'll just address it now. I wasn't there for 40 minutes physically, but I was there and voiced. But we did talk about it there, and they seemed to mistakenly put Daniel Bryan as an inductee of the Hall of Fame. Whether that's going to happen, whether it's not going to happen, we don't know. We've seen so many inductees over the past week with how many people they're putting in. Obviously, they're talking about the previous year as well. They're putting in wrestlers there as well, so we don't know truly how many people are going to be in it. But Daniel Bryan has come out and said that it might weigh things up when his contract expires, because obviously he's got a young family, so it could be one of his wrestlers that's going to go and put my family first for once.
Okay.
And he's come back and he's managed to do a stint in wrestling, potentially maybe leaving the door open to come back again down the line. But for that, because he's mentioning that, I can't exclude him to say that he won't win it and then, eventually lose it, maybe at the next pay-per-view, or have a run and lose. But personally, I would agree with the Edge. I think crowd-wise, Edge surely coming back. I think Edge has got to win it. But we've seen shocks before, haven't we? So Roman Reigns could shock us. It could be the Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker all over again, but we're just going to have this anticlimax and it's going to be him walking out winner again. But we'll see. But we know, like you mentioned, The Rock. Is there the room for something crazy to happen there? Is there the room for him to, obviously, the anticlimax, he wins, he retains, and then the Rock. It's the poor man's Rock, the Walk. And the spoon at WrestleMania 38. The Rock walks out then. You know what he's like with Rock. I mean, he's the only probably wrestler right now that can walk into a WrestleMania and not be seen for ages, and then have a WrestleMania match set up for next year quite easily and not be there.
Aye, because I just think, as you're saying, like the family line and stuff, all that's kind of building up for the top. Obviously, Jey Uso been involved, all this kind of family stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock did. Aye, big Dwayne Johnson, still
Speaking
got
of
it.
WrestleMania, we've seen the announcement of the who's hosting it. What do you make of that?
Oh, fuck.
Disappointed. Aye.
That's what I'm saying. Greg's got my words. It's disappointed.
Aye.
It's the oddest pairing I've ever seen in my life.
Aye, it's don't get me wrong. Obviously, Hulk Hogan, the legend, and all that. But Titus O'Neil, obviously, he does a lot of work outside and stuff, and he's great and everything else. But I don't know, just maybe somebody that's kind of let's see somebody like Billie Kay, man. Billie is perfect. Do you know what I mean? See the way she was in like SmackDown, and obviously she's not been there for a wee while, but she's comical. I mean, she keeps viewers' attention. She's dead funny and stuff. So somebody like that's absolutely perfect. So I don't know why she's maybe not the role, but as you say, it's a weird pairing. Like the two of them don't really. I don't know what they were thinking, really.
They can make up for it if Titus O'Neil slides all the way down the ramp. I know I keep calling up these ramp things. Slides all the way down the ramp under the ring. I'll forgive them for putting Titus O'Neil in as the host.
What if Hulk Hogan does it though?
Even better, and he'll call it some sort of other dome that's not the dome.
Super dome.
Where's a wee tutu or something?
I still can't get over the fact that when he called it, was it the Super Dome he called it, and said that the Silver Dome he called it.
Oh, maybe the Silver Dome.
Aye.
But maybe that's why they're putting Titus there, just to keep him right, because we don't know what he could hit out with.
He's senile. That's fucking what it is.
But no, I'm sure it will still be good. I'm sure it will still get to WrestleMania. We're like, that's actually probably a wee bit better than what we thought. Maybe hopefully one of them you're kind of quietly surprised about it, but I just don't know why. It's a kind of weird way of thinking.
I don't know if they're separate,
Sure
if they're
they'll
going to
still
be
do it.
posting together, are they? Has that been confirmed, or
I know.
is it one night you're getting one night you're getting another? I don't know. But if it is together, it's going to be bizarre. Like we already said.
Aye,
Plain and simple.
crazy.
We've spoke about Lashley, the announcement there, obviously, during Raw. I think it might have been during FASTLANE, actually, but then you have Asuka versus Peyton Royce. That match. We've spoke about that in previous podcasts with Peyton Royce deserving that chance to maybe get a shot at a title. Obviously didn't do her any favours during that match. She lost. And then, wham, who walks out? Rhea
Rhea.
Ripley. What an entrance that was. And I take it all day long. That match is fantastic for WrestleMania. Absolutely fantastic. What's your thoughts on that one? Do you see, are we going to make our early predictions for this one? Or are we holding off on now?
I kind of want Rhea to win.
I'm the same.
Is it? Wait, gives us somebody fresh.
Aye.
It's just is it and it builds her up a wee bit.
I feel.
Ivan, go.
Aye. I love Oscar. She's a fantastic champion. I feel she's been a wee bit unlucky. Like title defences and stuff. Like she's not had maybe as many as she'd like, and then she's obviously done with injury. So it's great. But it's great to see her obviously at the moment at WrestleMania, and Rhea Ripley. I think it'd be amazing to see her. I think obviously Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, the last two in the Royal Rumble. So to see the two of them potentially walk out as the champions, as Ryan was saying there, hitting the nail on the head, just fresh, two of the best current stars in news. So that would honestly be amazing. But the match itself is just going to be off scale. It's just going to be fantastic, I think.
I will be. Like you said, Rhea Ripley would be the fresh champion that can take the championship and the division probably forward in a kind of a leap, opposed to just the usuals taking it kind of step by step, because that's what happens. Obviously, eventually it's just going to be that way. It's not going to go leaps and bounds until somebody new comes into the picture, and obviously her coming in that way is fantastic. But Charlotte's obviously there's a tweet with Andrade saying he'll be back in that title picture. Is it a cover up? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? But surely the God they wouldn't allow it if that was the case. I mean, I don't know what the game is with WWE and Charlotte and Andrade now. I don't know if it's kind of warfare at the moment or if it's a genuine thing. Maybe she is going to come in, because to be fair, she did challenge Asuka to the championship, so this probably still leaves it open for a triple threat.
Aye, definitely interest. I think now obviously she had COVID and stuff like that, and then obviously they've been announced. So I'm thinking more now that she's not going to be involved. Just say it could easily change. You know, at the end of the day, it's Charlotte Flair into it. She can just kind of come in at any point. But I would like to just see Oscar and Rhea Ripley, just the two of them go at it. I think it's what the fans more want to see. You know that the no big. Some people aren't the big fans of Charlotte, but you can't take away for obviously what she's achieved in her own right and stuff. So there's always that opportunity. But I would like to just see Oscar and Rhea Ripley. But as you say, it was good to see Peyton Royce get her chance, obviously, with her kind of emotional speech and stuff and Raw talk and pushing there. She did herself justice, do you know what I mean? She was absolutely brilliant in the match. She pushed kind of Oscar all the way and obviously never kind of got the benefit because she lost and stuff like that. But no, fair play her for putting herself out there and then obviously doing well in the match.
It's got the potential, obviously, for maybe if, like we say, hopefully Rhea does pick up this championship, that maybe that will be our next person to face her. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that will push asking Charlotte aside for the meantime. Sorry, but I would quite like that match. I think that would be quite a good match if you're talking something fresh, something new, not just the people we've seen recently. It would definitely go in regards to what the way NXT's going with the women's stuff now, bringing it the tag teams and putting the women in good light now. I think the main rosters need to do that now as well. It's not good enough, in my opinion, for them to have just one tag team championship between two brands. I don't think that's good enough. I think they need to have a Raw women's tag team, and they need to have a SmackDown as well to go forward. And hopefully with people like Rhea Ripley coming up from the NXT, hopefully we're going to start to see something building here, and hopefully they're going to actually take that on board and take them forward, opposed to just letting it simmer away. We've talked about even the men's as well, but the women's at the minute is going that direction. It seems to be going the direction of the way it did with the women's revolution with Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks. It seems to be kind of picking up this traction again. That's kind of taking it forward again. So hopefully it's going to continue that way, and they're not going to let it die down. So
hopefully, it always seems to be like the same kind of like Asuka, Charlotte, Sasha, and it just rotates. And so hopefully it's like with Rhea coming in, and obviously Bianca Belair. It just kind of like something fresh. That's kind of what I'm needing. Something fresh.
Absolutely, I think we adding more titles for them as well can give more refreshment. I know we're talking about the recycling the singles, but at the same time, it seems to be when they are recycling that at the same time, simultaneously, you've got the women that aren't challenging for it, the new challengers. You've not got them doing anything singles wise. You've got them in a tag team, a mixed match tag team. Some of them are maybe hitting it off, some of them are not. Fair enough, that's part and parcel when it comes to the wrestling. You sometimes do get the tag teams and mix them up, fair enough, but it doesn't last sometimes half as long as it has with the women. When it's the men's, it can be a one-off match. Randy Orton tags up with AJ Styles or something, something like that, and then next week it's back to being singles again. Do you know what I mean? The way they can play it, but they just need to enrich the SmackDown roster and the Raw roster to maybe allow something to expand that way. But hopefully they'll go that way. But I love NXT for what they did there. I think that's fantastic, the way that they brought the tag championships out. I think it's definitely, it's boosted the women's division massively. I think it's going to project them much bigger now than it ever has done.
Aye.
So, but we'll see what happens with the likes of the Rhea Ripley, and hopefully we're right. Hopefully something fresh again, a bit like Belair. Hopefully we're going to see her win against Sasha Banks. That's my hopes anyway with that one. I'm assuming you are in agreement with that one.
Yep.
I don't think we too many people backing Sasha, to be honest. I don't really see too many people doing it. But AJ Styles versus Kingston on Raw. Kingston picking up the win. Almost get distracted by Woods. So I kind of like he's had his hands full with him. What do you kind of see with that one? We know that's a tag match that's going to be happening. Do you see almost performing straight away? Do you see him being fresh enough to know the script when it comes to a tag team match, or do you think he's going to be quite rusty and new to the game? Do you think he's had enough training back in the PC for that?
It's a weird one, but I kind of want AJ and Omos to win, just to see what he can do.
Good heel tag team.
Aye, just to see what happens. I think he'll maybe come in and he'll like dominate for maybe a minute, and then AJ Styles will like get the pinfall. But I hope he shows us something.
No.
He's a big bit of guy.
Oh,
so something like 7 foot or something.
Aye. So hope he comes in and just dominates.
I think he will surprise us. I think he will come in and he will kind of perform, and as Ryan was saying there, he will kind of show what he's made. Because obviously he's just been this kind of big guy who's just been AJ's style, but obviously more and more we're kind of seeing him getting more involved with stuff, so that's good. But no, I definitely think he's just going to be a powerhouse, and he's just going to come in and dominate. But I think they might actually win, as Ryan was saying there. I think it could be something like almost kind of dominates. New Day can have their way for a wee bit, but then like something like a phenomenal forearm or something, and then AJ with a pin, something like that would be good. And it's been a good storyline. They've done well.
Using their strengths, like you say, so it could be. I could be set up to be something pretty good. It'll be certainly different to the way you've got Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, because they're not the same kind of team. So that would be interesting to see how that goes. But obviously that's something fresh for us to see, and we know obviously the New Day they've been there and done that 11-time champions. You know what I mean? So it's not like they need to have that run again. But again, they're not a bad team for another team to take off. It's probably the right thing for somebody. You know, if it was somebody, I don't know, lesser known in the tag teams and having won too many championships, it probably doesn't put them in the same light as it would be for them to win the tag championships off the New Day, since they're the 11-time champs. If you've just got somebody that's won it one or two times or something like that, it's not going to have the same impact as it is. So having, obviously, like you say, AJ Styles and almost beating the New Day, 11-time champs, puts that statement out there, and it obviously kind of helps build them as a tag team, like you say. So it'll be interesting to see how he does, but hopefully he's up to the game. I think he has. He's been in the company for long enough, and I think he's been at the Performance Centre for probably well over a year now, very easily.
Must be.
Because I think I remember seeing him getting reported in Performance Centre when they obviously were just trying to get him trained up and stuff, and he's obviously trimmed quite a bit. I think he was a bit heavier set when he came to the Performance Centre, but he seems to kind of be more robust now. So it's fair enough, he's a big guy, so it's not really going to matter. He's hardly going to be running about the ring like Rey Mysterio, but you never know.
I know that's it. Imagine that backflip. Backflips off the top rope, not that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that guy try and do a flip man without smacking his head off again. I really would. It would be something different. Drew McIntyre facing the failed team of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, and Drew obviously smashing that one. And the Claymore kick. What do you think of the selling? That's probably one of the best sells we've seen for a long time.
Oh, incredible. It was just absolutely brilliant. It was like a full 360 turn minute, man. He honestly couldn't have done it any better. Again, it was just absolutely brilliant, and it made the Claymore one of the best. It was just great. I liked the match itself as well. It was a good match because I liked the fact it was a match for Drew just to face Lashley on his own rather than the involvement of they two as well. It was kind of good that way. But you'll be talking about that Claymore for ages now. Honestly, it was just kind of brilliant, and it just shows you how far kind of Cedric Alexander's come on, that he's joined that business and kind of bigger superstars to kind of push him on. Like he's able to kind of pull off stuff like that. So it's great to see. But it was good to see Drew pull off the win in that one and all.
It was good. Drew again just been dominant, isn't he? So I mean, what was your take yourself, Ryan? Did you?
I thought it was a solid match. It just it showed off like Drew's potential again as well. But like Greg said, that Claymore was just outstanding. The selling was just top notch, brilliant.
He's definitely buying him a drink after that show, 100%.
I must. Even two.
Aye.
Speaking of the Claymore, did you see that apparently in AEW, I don't know the wrestler, but because I've not caught up with it, but one of the wrestlers used the Claymore to, win that match. Apparently, I don't know who it is. It's not somebody I've seen recently, but it was interesting to see that. I was kind of going, really, Claymore.
How dare they?
I know. Stealing wrestlers, no stealing moves. Fuck's sake.
Aye. Can we get a wee Glasgow kiss?
We'll go down to South Mole Battle, must do it. So I think the only other match we've got that night of Raw, highlight wise, was obviously again, we've already kind of spoke about that briefly, about the sign point with Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. Randy Orton kind of touching upon that, also him desperately trying to get rid of him, like he's possessed, just like, I need to get rid of you, you're a bad smell, flushing him down the toilet like a very smelly jobby. Obviously doing it differently with the petroleum, but I thought that was quite good. I like that, the way they kind of still played that along with Randy Orton still freaked out his box up with him. I think it's certainly building to something good, and I think, don't know about yourselves, what out of everything we've spoke about so far from Fastlane and Raw, and we'll still get SmackDown. We've briefly touched upon some of the main feuds from SmackDown anyway, but personally, I think this is going to be one of the ones up there. I think this could steal the show potentially over the championship matches. I don't know about yourselves. Do you see, what's your kind of rankings and such when it comes to the Raw Championship, SmackDown, and then say this match, or is there another match maybe that we've that isn't a championship match you think's up there as well with them?
Oh, I'm kind of hoping for Rollins and Cesaro to be announced. That could be, that could be phenomenal. But I think, but out of the championship ones, other than that, probably Drew and Lashley could be amazing. It's got to be physical. Both guys will get a chance to show what they can do as well.
Absolutely.
Aye. Kind of on the same lines as Ryan there. I think as you're saying with like Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss, it's probably one of the most bits I've looking forward to every week happening just to see. So I think whatever kind of happens, that'll be really up there for me. But I think the title match, I think they're all going to be really good. But Sasha Banks and Belair, I don't know. I think that could really steal the show for me. I think just not just the build up to it, but just how good Sasha Banks has been over her career, and then Bianca Belair in her own right as well. But Sasha Banks, the kind of boost that Bianca Belair's got for other wrestlers and stuff, I think the two of them will just bounce off each other, and then it'll bring out just everything. Really, I think it'll just be a great battle between the two. So me, I think that could steal the show. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. So we've got quite a lot to look forward to. Big matches, even matches that aren't involving titles that potentially could be show stealers. But again, we've got obviously the announcement of the two-day NXT. But kicking off NXT, we had Zoe Stark and Io Shirai teaming up against Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. And I don't know about yourselves, but I thought that was a fantastic way to kick off that show.
That was a solid match. Solid. Zoe Stark's really fucking good.
Aye.
She's only had like 2 or 3 matches, but she's really fucking good.
Aye. She's very, very strong, isn't she? It's just like it's as if the backstage feedback that wrestlers get when it comes to their mic skills and their wrestling ability seem to come to actual light on a show. Like the way Rigo's kind of pushing it out and going, right, you're against Io Shirai, boom, and then just kind of putting her straight in there as if she's always belonged there. That's kind of the way it feels. And like she's extremely strong. But what did you make of that? Was it the one arm single power bomb? From Gonzalez on Io Shirai onto that table, man, like bloody backbreaking.
Oh man, that was absolutely real, man. I don't know how that Shirai's still alive after that, man. Honestly,
she must be hell of a light as well. If Tony Storm can
Aye.
knock a table over with a finger, then Io Shirai must be hell of a light not to.
Aye,
go through
it's just
that
because the
table.
way Io Shirai leaps about the ring, she just honestly leap about and jump on the top ropes and everything. So to do that to somebody like that, it's just absolutely incredible. And it's just built up great for them as well. At the end, the two of them crawling towards each other before that. Do you know what I mean? That was really intense as well. That was great. It really just built it up. But aye, Ryan was saying at the start, stole the show in that match for me as well. She's just, for having so very few matches, she's just a joy to watch. Ability and everything. She's going to be a big star as well. And it just shows you that. Aye.
Gonzalez, obviously dominant again. Do you see her taking the championship? I've had a wee bit of discussion, I think, on the Instagram account with a couple of fans about what they think about that match. Some of them are quite similar, some of them are different, but I think we've had somebody in particular, I think, was talking about the fact that Io Shirai's been on this run. She can afford to lose the title now, and we've kind of discussed the fact that maybe she could potentially springboard up, maybe after WrestleMania, up to Raw SmackDown quite easily, because she's kind of not really got anything else left to prove, really, because she's done it all, really. She's faced almost everybody basically, and it wouldn't be a bad way to go out considering the size of Gonzalez and the potential she's got. But I think I agree with one of the fans on there for sure. I think Gonzalez is going to take this title. I think she's definitely going to do it.
Aye, I think so.
Aye, that's kind of my thoughts as well. I can see her winning it, and I can see Io kind of moving up after Mania. Especially if Rhea wins. Gives you a new kind of fresh feud as well.
Exactly.
I mean,
I don't know. How would you see Io Shirai and Asuka? Do we ever see them tagging, or do we see them feuding? Is that interesting? Okay.
you 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 can't replace Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane is fucking mental. I mean, so
a feud between the two of them would be brilliant. I think that would be really kind of hot. But Io Shirai, as you say, she's done everything in NXT. She's deserved it. She's proved herself against the best, and to go against somebody like Gonzalez would just be unbelievable. I think. And Gonzalez deserves it as well. I mean, she's been pushed and deservedly so and stuff. I think at War Games, I think we've spoken about before, she pinned Io Shirai and stuff as well. So she's really built up, and the partnership she's had with Dakota Kai and stuff as well has just only enhanced her. So it would be good to see her take the belt and Io Shirai go up to the top because she deserves to be there.
So we'll move on to another match, quite a squash match really. Bronson Reed squishing LA Knight, probably worse than Otis squishing Rey Mysterio. It's kind of good to see, to be honest. I wouldn't complain about it, to be honest. But Bronson Reed, he's making a splash as such. Cheesy, I know.
Some tsunami, honestly, God. That's the thing. I don't know if LA Knight's annoyed me. I don't know. I know he's good on the mic and all that, and I know he was actually really good in stages of the match as well. He was really good against Bronson Reed. He kind of had that kind of swagger about him, and he was in control. He grounded Bronson Reed, kept him there and that. But I don't know. There's just something about him that annoys me. Not to say he's no good at it, and he is really good. But aye, I'm surprised he's still alive and all. I was just saying with that splash, man. It was just pure full blown to win it, everything into it.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed, I think he'll push up near the top as well eventually. He's really good. It's really, but for the size of him as well, the stuff he's able to do, like jump off ropes and all that, and that's some people his size shouldn't be able to do that, but he can, and that's just how talented he is. But LA Knight, I would quite fancy him to get a few more downs like that. That would be quite good for me.
Ryan, what's your kind of thoughts on the two of them?
I think if LA Knight had kept his kind of like Eli Drake persona, he'd be more like over. But his new gimmick's just fucking annoying. I don't like him.
Aye.
But Bronson Reed is outstanding for what he can do. Like Greg said, for the size of him, he's fast paced. He's physical as well. I can probably see him getting a run with the North American Championship or eventually.
Aye, I definitely agree with that. I'd love to see eventually down the line. I know it's quite far away considering he's quite fresh to NXT, but we know sometimes how fast they can move with certain superstars. We've seen it with Zoe Stark. We don't know how long she's going to be sticking around in NXT. She could be up to the main roster before we know it.
Yeah.
So potential for any wrestler, but personally, I think it'd be some match, just a dream match of mine already. It would be great to see Bronson Reed versus Keith Lee. I'd love to see them clash, two big giants in the ring, man. Because Keith Lee's a similar guy when it comes to some moves you just don't expect. Some of the aerial offense he hits it with.
No, that would be brilliant, actually. Really good.
I know you guys are quite big fans, right, of him, right? And I'm not going to mention his name. Does LA Knight not remind you of anybody from one of the main rosters?
The Miz?
Aye.
The Miz
he has.
can still be annoying the way he can be on the mic. And even in his early days, it was extremely annoying. Imagine they two having a war of words. Can you imagine how that would
that would be funny. Aye, that would be funny.
But they're all night.
Aye, he wouldn't stop. Aye. No, he does. He has. You're right. He has that kind of same sort of kind of persona about him. That kind of funniness, but the swagger and stuff as well. A wee bit cocky, but also really good in the ring as well and stuff. Aye, as you say, there were words between the two, man. We're going all right, man. You would. Thunderdome shut, man. Close. Finished.
I wasn't sure about him, if I'm being honest. As I said last week, I wasn't really sure about him. Hadn't seen a great deal about him. But from what I've seen since he's arrived in NXT, although he can be annoying, he's just kind of fit into NXT quite well. I was kind of expecting it would take a while to fit in, but he seems to have kind of got there. I know it would have been better if he went for the Eli Drake kind of gimmick, but he's kind of fitting in a wee bit. He's maybe going to still find his way, but not so much as the way Grimes had to find his way. Because I went for bloody despising that guy to find him hilarious a couple of weeks down the line. But
his segment with Roderick Strong was fucking brilliant.
Aye, it was so funny.
That's not how we do business, buddy.
honestly, it was phenomenal. He's been great, man. I said poor man's $1 million man. That's what it is. So we had the news break before we watched the show with the men's tags being vacated. Obviously, it was a bit of a shock, but it actually opens up a really exciting potential. I don't know about yourselves, but I find that I'm not saying I dislike them, so I don't. I think they're all right, but I think it opens a more exciting match personally. I don't know about you. What do you think now compared to what it could have been?
I kind of wanted to see Imperium instead of Phantasma in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the fact that Walter's got to be fighting Ciampa, so it would make sense to have Imperium in it as well.
Aye.
And if it was a ladder match instead of maybe Devlin and Escobar, which we'll get to probably eventually, but I think that would have been better. But being the three teams that are in it are deserved it. Being Phantasma's been in their quality. Grizzly Young Vets, once I came across in next to UK, have been solid, and with MSK coming in, winning the Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic, and then getting a chance for the titles right away.
Absolutely. I've been thoroughly impressed with MSK. I'm going to just set it right out. MSK for me. I don't know about you, but I want to see MSK take that victory. But Phantasma has been they've been a fantastic heel tag team. Probably one of the best we've seen for a while, if I'm being honest. And that's in any roster, to be honest. I wouldn't even say that Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler pass off as a better heel, to be honest. I see these two as a better heel. They've got more chemistry than they two. So I like that. I like the fact Grizzle young veterans as well. They're very good at being heel as well. Fair enough. It's hard for some fans to take. To us, probably it's easier because we know they're from the UK. But I think for some Americans probably won't like them as such, just because they're from the UK. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
Basically.
But that's set to be an exciting match for sure. But you had Oney Lockhart versus Karrion Kross. That was some meeting in itself.
Aye, that was
what you're taking that.
Aye, it was good. It was really, really good. As you say, I think obviously Oney Lockhart and Danny Burch with the other titles, but touching what you've said there about the tag titles, it has opened it up better and stuff. Like as much as they were kind of a good team, it worked for so long, but I think it was needing a freshen up between, and as you say, the three teams are brilliant. MSK and Grizzled Young Veterans together in the Dusty Cup final makes sense, and as you say, like Phantasma's brilliant as well. But aye, that match, Karrion Kross is just an absolute animal, and I think his character's brilliant. Him and Scarlett together, just really works a treat. I think Scarlett really kind of portrays that in Karrion Kross, how kind of animalistic and how brutal he actually is in the ring and stuff like that. And he's just an absolute powerhouse. Like Oney Larkin's no a small guy either. He's quite tough, but he made him kind of look just a wee bit on the side. Do you know what I mean? It was Oney Larkin was good, but then it just kind of became what you've seen of Karrion Kross, just really dominating and picking up the win. And then I liked when Finn Balor came out as well. That kind of standoff between Finn Balor and Karrion Kross was outstanding as well. Man, Finn Balor's just incredible and on the mic as well. See the way he holds the mic as well, like pure to the side and all that. It's just pure cool, pure attitude, just pure. I'm the champion and I know it, and that's brilliant, man. Honestly, fantastic. But it builds it up because Karrion Kross was great in that match, deserved the victory, and it just builds it up perfectly for Stand and Deliver, which is going to be just another war, I think.
Absolutely. we've probably got another. I don't know what yourselves. I think he's alright. I think he's good heel. Obviously, he had Walter come out with the Imperium versus Drake Maverick, who had to put out a tweet to assure everybody he was still alive after. Some might be saying, "Thank God." Some might be saying, "Oh, Jesus, why did he not just die?" Aye, that was. I mean, did you hear the body sound off of that slap, man?
Oh,
That was one of his best.
Little man.
His chops are phenomenal. They're so vicious.
It was actually like a gun going off on it, man. It was like a gunshot or something, man. Just the bounce off it was just unreal. It felt
We need to hear it live, don't we? We need to go to an event to hear this live.
Definitely.
And Drake Maverick just get as we expected. He just get destroyed, didn't he? I mean, Walter's just twice the size of man, the build and stuff. And no taking it away from Drake Maverick. He's a good wrestler in his own right, but it was just a mismatch, really, wasn't it? It was just kind of too much power. But then I was surprised, obviously, when Timmy Thatcher had the wee thing with Imperium, but I didn't expect that. Still with Ciampa coming out in the day too, that kind of shocked me. I don't know about you, but it just oh yes, here we go.
Well, I'm a big Ciampa fan. Since he came back from his injury and with turned psycho, I've just been, oh, he's my guy. He's wild. But I think other than Devlin and Escobar, I think that match could be probably a match of like both nights stand over. I think it'll just be a total war. That'll be great.
Aye.
As it's set to be something massive, it really is. But the size of Imperium, like I know Ciampa's not exactly the biggest of guys, but they guys, I mean, we know Walter's big, but they two guys are quite tall as well. And it's good to see them kind of rock up on NXT just like that. But I look forward to that. Always looking forward to a Ciampa match. He always goes right to the wire, right to the bone. So it'll be interesting to see how that one passes it. Do you see him winning this? It'll be a bit of a strange one. It'll be something different. Do you see him win it, or do you think Walter's just going to, get a bit of a domination here and kind of make his territory in the NXT now?
Aye. The Ciampa fan in me says aye, but in what reality, nah, fucking Walter will walk away with the win and keep his kind of title reign going for another few months.
Aye. It's going to be fantastic. So moving on, Greg. I think you know what I'm coming on to here, mate. I don't think I even need to mention her name. Moon and versus Aliyah and Martinez. What was your thoughts on that tag match?
Aye, it was interesting. It was good, obviously. Jessie Camilla, we're all expecting Gerard because she's like Aliyah's kind of seen it tag partner. So when I was a bit kind of like, oh shit, when Mercedes Martinez get introduced because she's just an all-out brawler as well. So I thought this just really changes the dynamic of the full match, and this is going to be a lot harder, which it showed for the first while. Her and Aliyah were fair play to Aliyah, like, they were really, really good. They seem to, in a strange way, work. Which is good, but Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon they're both wild, they're both crazy, they both just suit each other perfectly, like they're really high flying, technical ability. Shotzi Blackheart's quite tall and stuff as well, so to be able to jump off the top ropes like that is incredible. But aye, the teamwork's great. You can see that they're good. I think they're now good pals outside the ring as well, which is good. So that always kind of helps a tag team. But they're kind of fast pace, high flyabilities, they're kind of even groundwork and stuff as well. Webber Moon just into kind of submission holds. I think that just kind of outpowered Mercedes Martinez and Aliyah in the end, and I was just so happy to see them retain, man. It's just great. So it is. I hope it's a reign it never ever is, unless Shotzi Blackheart becomes a Grand Slam champion.
So I don't need to ask you then who you think is going to win then. I'm not even going to ask you. But I think that they're due a run, definitely. But it was crazy to see them win that tag match so soon. But obviously that was for obvious reasons to push Gonzalez in a singles.
Surprising.
So but it will be good. It'll be good to see. I honestly I'm fully expecting to see her coming in a full size tank at some point. Could this be the time? Yeah. Don't know. Don't know if the stage can handle it.
It's incredible. You just don't look she's coming out with next. It's like, honestly, just keep this coming our way. But the match itself as well, like, it looks as if they're going to face Candice LeRae in it and Indy Hartwell, and that match itself is going to be great because they were obviously, if I remember, captains at War Games, weren't they, against each other? So it's Blackheart and Candice LeRae, so that kind of long time rivalry's been there, so it'll be a great match. But again, it's just built. The tag titles is just built the women's division right up, and it's really needed it. So it's bringing out kind of even superstars like Aaliyah, who maybe people don't really focus on as much, but seeing her in her first tag team match, going for it and showing her ability is just showing how good the actual talent is, and that's not even people that we talk about every day. So it's great.
Now the big talking point of the night: contract signing. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, big William Regal getting mixed up with it and amongst all the punches getting thrown. What an ending to that show that was. What a contract signing. I thought that was absolutely amazing. I'm further looking forward to it. Again, still question. I'm going to say it until I find out because I still don't know. Where the hell is Bobby Fish?
Disappeared.
Still no sign him. But I think it goes without saying they broke up.
I think he's injured.
Aye.
I remember it. I think he get hurt during War Games and get put out again for a few months.
I think you're right. Because am I not right in saying so? I don't know how many weeks ago it was now. Maybe months now. Maybe last month, the month before. Am I not right in saying he was still backstage with them at one point before they broke up, before the whole feud kind of kicked off? Was he not seen like in a backstage segment or something with him?
Aye, he was.
Which I just found weird how they just kind of like took him out that way because he didn't. It's not like he has to be involved in a match, but I suppose if it's whatever kind of injury is, maybe I guess it's just they don't want him to take any risks when it comes to taking a hit, maybe. But I just found it weird how like you see him one meeting and boom, he's gone, like he never existed. Bizarre, but what's your winner for this one?
O'Reilly to win, and then Adam Cole will appear in Raw after Mania.
That is one hell of a shout. That is one hell of a shout.
That's a brilliant shout. I wouldn't have that actually. My mind thought at first just Adam Cole. I don't know. Just obviously how long he's been champion, the brutality and stuff like that. He might just come out and top. But now that you've said that, that's opened up a lot. It seems as if it's a really good shout actually to happen. But that was absolutely brilliant. The two of them just having words was great, and then obviously the table getting flipped was just absolutely brilliant. So it was, but it's just going to be another war into it. Just so many of the matches just going to be an absolute brawl. It's going to go right down to the wire.
I'd love to see Regal just bring back the dirty Regal and Botwang Adam Cole in a little to take the win just because he took that punch. I just think it would be great.
Brass knucks now.
I don't know if he can still do it. Maybe he can't. Maybe he's beyond it now. Maybe he knows that. But I wouldn't grumble at another wee sight in the Regal. I think that'd be great. But I left it deliberately out. I know we've talked about the main talking point. That match is going to be fantastic. I don't think we need to even add anything to it. But Adam Cole quite commonly being compared to Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels made that appearance, surprising appearance with the Cruiserweight Championship, the unification match, when he came out and inserted that ladder right between them. I mean, it was a surreal moment, as I say, towards the end, when we seen Shawn Michaels and Adam Cole kind of just look at each other. It's almost like it was a mirror image, in a way. A new era of Shawn Michaels and Adam Cole. But when he put that ladder out in that, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think I think that's elevated that match big time with Devlin and Escobar.
That'll be match of both nights. I think I'll just be outstanding. I mean, both are talented. I can see some of the spots already. It's just got to be good. It's got to be amazing. It's got to be amazing. Aye, for a match I wasn't excited about, I'm really excited about it now.
That will be good. Obviously, we've got another kind of mystery with the North American Championship. We obviously need to wait for night one when we've got the number one contender gauntlet eliminator. There's quite a few big names in it anyway, so sure, potentially them all, really. But who do you see winning that? Or who would you like to see? Or who do you see winning it? But who would you want to win it?
Aye.
Give you
I've
two
got
names.
Aye, I've got my pick, but I'll let Greg go first.
You go it.
Honestly, it's absolutely wide open, man. There's just full of people. Kishida's in it, isn't he? If I'm right, I'm saying
Aye.
CE.
Aye.
I would like to see him. I know he's kind of had the kind of fights with Garno and that before, but I honestly like to just see him go on and win the thing and win the belt. I think he's just been outstanding through the whole time, and he's just built up and built up and built up. But he just, I would love to see him get his opportunity. I don't know if he will, but I think Dexter Loomis as well. Dexter Loomis, I think he's the one. His character's just unreal, man. He just doesn't speak a word, but it's great, and his in-ring ability as well is fantastic. So I think that's the one I would like to see. I think Kushida might win it, but Dexter Loomis, Dexter Loomis is the one I want to go and win the whole thing and win the belt.
Aye, fucking took my pick. No, the Big Dexter for sure. I think it's his time now to get a title. Definitely, his character's just brilliant. The fact that it's just his like silent, but he's fucking terrifying at the same time. Aye, definitely his time now.
So you've not got you don't need a second pick. You've got yours, and I wanna.
It's easy. It's done.
Who you want? That's it.
It's done.
I
It's
would
me.
agree. Aye, I want Loomis to win it. I would love if it wasn't him. If it's not to be him, I would love to see Bronson Reed get his chance, but it's probably too early for him. But we could all switch or I could revert back to my opinion of Grimes. Grimes might end up stealing the victory. Could you imagine?
Never know.
That's amazing. It is.
I don't think Pete Dunne needs it, so I don't see Pete Dunne in the. I don't really see him in the kind of a shout. But to be honest, along with a few of the others, I don't really see LA Knight or Kishida winning it. I don't think they're likely to, but I think Loomis would be the main one here, especially considering who it's against. It kind of adds up, really, doesn't it? It's against the perfect opponent to be holding that title, and for him to take the North American Championship off Gargano would be just adding to that storyline, really. I think it's going to be great. So, I think we've basically covered the Just Say, NXT, Raw. Whether there's going to be any more matches added to these, I'd like to think there's going to be some more matches. But for the posters I've seen, I think that's everything we've really covered. But anything else we've got to add, lads? What do you think for SmackDown coming up? Do you see anything changing in the landscapes of SmackDown?
Other than Bryan being added to the Roman match, Roman Edge, it will probably just be build up, I think.
I'd like to see Bayley get a match. I don't know. I think she's top level. Not really seen her compete for a while. Obviously, she's going to be kind of host show and stuff like that. But no, I think she deserves to at least have a kind of some sort of match anyway. But I don't know. It's kind of there's no really kind of building with her middle in there. To kind of suggest what it could lead to. But I'd definitely like to see her get something.
Absolutely. For me, it's Kevin Owens throwing his hat in the ring for that title match against Riddle. I think that would be good to see. Obviously, we've got potentially anybody get into that really, or just the repetition of the kind of feud that they've had already with that. I don't know where it leaves. As I say, Jeff Hardy seems to be a bit aimless, and surely to God they're not going to not utilise the guy. I'd like to think they are. unless they're planning something bigger for the United States Championship at Mania, like a ladder match at WrestleMania. I don't know if that's something they would even consider. Who knows? I mean, our man could hit out with that quite easily. You know, he could be quite dopey and go, well, I say dopey, but funny. He could end up just going, hey guys, let's have a ladder match. Which could involve more people. But unfortunately, if that's the case and it's a ladder match, then there's no chance in hell we're going to see Kevin Owens jump off that pirate ship. But that's my hope for WrestleMania. It will.
Yep.
It needs to happen. It needs to happen. I'll be gutted if he doesn't get a match, because I just honestly rage him. I'm not going to talk about this. I'll be ranting about this until after WrestleMania if they don't give him a match. But anything else, or is that, would you say that's all really for your kind of additions? We'll obviously get another NXT, another Raw, another SmackDown before we hit WrestleMania. So we've probably got more predictions on its way next week. But as such for SmackDown, it could potentially be another explosive one anyway. With I think the Roman Reigns scenario, because Edge seemed to obviously leave with a bit of a screw loose. With raging. So I'd love to see him come out in a rampage in SmackDown. But that's all for this episode. Episode 2 of the live stream. We're all present, I hope. Visually and audio. Hopefully we've not had any issues. Please watch restream. Please watch.
Please.
But until next time, we'll be back probably with a podcast or another live stream at the weekend, after we see what the fallout is from SmackDown. But thanks to everyone for joining in. We've seen a couple of wee eyes up there. We know who you are. Hopefully we see them continue. But cheers again, guys.
Cheers.
Until next time.
Cheers. Thank you.
Adios.